Well, folks, that's a little bit of a back down to earth. Although, Carl, we got a bit going on in your household in the background. We can hear there. Just muted you, mate. Evening, folks. Wow. Well. So after a hard-fought win against Luton, and when you started to think that we were moving in the right direction, well, ladies and gentlemen, Peterborough pit a stop to that today. Lacking ideas, aimless passing, and a lack of leadership, and maybe a plan B. Peterborough had a clear game plan today, and that was to nullify us in all our attacking areas, and it worked. A lack of a plan B to react to that, I think was missing. But we had another penalty as well given away, this time by Hammond, and, well, he saved it this time. Well, his first save after having quite a few penalties against him recently. But yes, then you thought Lady Luck was on our side. But after a strike from Kyoso, from a good piece of play from Peterborough, Hammond palmed it into a dangerous area and stepped Morgan to slot the ball into the back of the net, giving Peterborough the lead and the only goal of the game. Well, a Mitchell header in the first half that hit the underside of the bar. Did it cross the line? Did it not? Ooh, there is no goal line tech in League One. But that's all we had to show for it in the first half. We did come out and start the second with a bit of energy, and it got the crowd going, and we thought, we can get back into this, but that pretty much faded late on. Peterborough stood resolute, and even a spectacular bicycle kick from Talai, which was superbly flicked onto the bar by the Peterborough keeper. And do you know what? We just knew then that it wasn't going to go our way today. Anyone worried? Well, in the house tonight we have Carl, Gavin, and Harvey's joined us as well. Evening also. Carl, I'll come to you first. It's a bit of a damp squib, that, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we were all quite confident before the game, weren't we, that it was going to be hopefully a bit more consistent Argyle and trying to get another win on the cards, but it wasn't to be. I think we underestimated Peterborough. I think they started the game quite strong. Well, as did we. I thought we started okay. Obviously, the goal that never got given was a massive blow, because, again, I think if we go ahead, we've got something to hold on to, and we seem to perform better when we take the lead. And we never seem to perform well when we go 1-0 down, so it was a disappointing start to the game. I thought we were quite flat all over the pitch today. I didn't think we passed the ball with any intent. I think we missed Watts in there, as we did against Luton. I know we got the 3 points up there, but I thought we missed Watts as a 10 in his tenacity and trying to break up play and get on the ball and things. Thought McCabe did okay without really pulling up too many routes. He was quite solid, but I don't think it was really a game for him to showcase his talent. And same with Dale. I thought he was quite poor again today. Didn't seem to want to pass the ball that much, and his crossing was poor. But then that could be the same for Mumba on the other side. Tolai again, another strong performance. Unlucky not to score a couple of goals. That overhead bicycle kick was unbelievable. Just watched it back now, and again, cracking save by their goalkeeper. And that was one of many cracking saves he pulled off. So I think on another day, I think a 1-1 would have been a fair result. I don't think Peterborough deserved the 3 points. I mean, it was a typical away performance, so credit to them for coming down here and defending that one goal. But we weren't really at the races today, and I think, again, Tom mentioned about lack of experience. Again, we missed Joe on the pitch again today, which then beggars the question, why didn't we go for that experience at the end of the window? I still think that's going to come back and bite us, to be honest.
Well, I think it's a tough one. I mean, Gavin, I think there was a lot of edginess. They just didn't seem to have any ideas when with the way that Peterborough set themselves up. And as I put it, nullified any threat from us. And picking up on Carl's points, I think it was just a difficult game, it felt, for every player, because we just couldn't get into it. And so they were holding the ball back too much, passing it back too much, not getting a ball in quick enough. And I think that came from several players, really. I mean, other than Talai and Ibrahim, who shone for me and got man of the match as well, I think it was just one of those games, wasn't it, that you just have to write off.
It wasn't great. I think there's just a lot. When you're playing Bradley Ibrahim that far forward, you haven't got a natural 10. He's a 6.5, really. I thought I actually disagree a little bit with Carl just for a change. I thought Lord McCabe actually had a very good game. I thought he looked to try and unlock a lot of passes. The problem is when we got it into that pocket in the 10 channel, we didn't have any quality to put anyone either wide to get a crossing quick enough or to get Talai or Dale into position to score. It was a frustrating afternoon. There was a lot of Foster type ball going across the back of the three and then back to the keeper and into midfield and back again. And it feels like sort of the midfield were a bit of strangers today, which has not really happened the last few weeks. Maybe it's because Lord McCabe came into the side and Ibrahim was playing out of position. I don't know. For me, the starting lineup should have been Benarous on the left-hand side and then switch Saranola across and keep Dale in his position. I think that would have been a lot better of a setup because the two midfield I think had good dynamics, and I thought we did okay at Luton. But it was a frustrating afternoon, I think, all round. Lucky the Malbec tasted good because otherwise I think I'd be really, really, really pissed off. So there we go.
So you haven't quite had the Bordeaux Senchi yet?
No, to be fair, I've not even. If our illustrious Voodoo is listening, I've not actually WhatsApped him yet or texted him yet, so I will do. Tomorrow morning, probably when I get up with the kids early doors. But no, I had to make do with a butcher's Malbec today, which is the red of choice in the Diamond Lounge, which was very nice, to be fair.
Yeah, no, good. Well, look, at least you were able to sort of drown your sorrows one way or another. But Harvey, before I come to you, and we've got some good comments, I'll read them out as well in a minute. I'm going to play your video that you sent me because I like to sort of get you directly after the game thoughts, as well as anything that you might have changed your mind on. Probably not, but here we go.
Right then, so full time, Plymouth Argyle 0, Peterborough United 1. I did originally record this in the stadium, but the audio cut out. It's disappointing. I think it was very flat today. I think it was passing was poor. It was very sloppy. It was very tired. Peterborough made the most out of the referee being a bit soft with the time wasting and taking as long as they wanted. But ultimately took their chances, and I think it was over 1,000 there, Peterborough fans there today. So safe travels to all of them, and thank you for coming down. And they go home with all 3 points. It's disappointing, but it's not the end of the world. I think a win today would have been nice. 3 consecutive wins would have set us nicely, smoothly. But we move on now to Tottenham Hotspur under-21s in the Virtue Trophy before we've got Burton away, which I'll be there for both. And I'll see you then. Come on, you Greens.
Very somber, Harvey, and I think, yeah, it's not all doom and gloom. I mean, Twitter was a light again with a lot of negativity, and I've just seen one of the comments from Carl, Evening Carl on X, who's paired with the show as well. People calling it a smash and grab, deluded. Yeah, it was just, they did a job today, didn't they, Peterborough, Harvey, and cleverly warned about it. I was over optimistic, going my 3-1 prediction, thinking that we were on that forward trajectory and would just really show up today. But yeah, they just absolutely did their job and sent their 1,000, which were a really good bunch there today, home with the 3 points. Much needed 3 points for them as well.
Yeah, 100%. I think like this time of the year, when you get teams that are down the bottom and get their first win, I think they can be some of the most dangerous teams to play. And I think we've seen that today. I thought Peterborough, they set up well. But I think ultimately it was down to Argyle themselves. I thought they looked very tired, like I said, and I thought the passing was very sloppy, especially in the final third. A few, if the ball was right and they just got that extra touch in, we would have had a fair few more chances, but it was very slow as well. I think especially in the last, maybe 5-10 minutes, and we're still passing it around the back. I think that it was just very tired and very sloppy. So, like I said, it's not the end of the world. I think we'll be middle of September, still plenty of games to go, and we've started hitting that form now. We know what heights we can reach, and we know how well we can play. So, yeah, like you said, just scratch it off and get back to the drawing board.
Yeah, I think so. It was, it just wasn't pretty, but it's just typical. Someone sat next to me said, "Oh, it's going to be just Argyle's luck, isn't it, to perform poorly against a bottom of the table side today?" And I said, "No, forget about it. We performed poorly against some top sides at home this season. It's like, no, this is going to be fine." Yeah, clearly, egg on my face again. Right, I'm going to go to the comments. So Argyle on tour. Spencer Hammond was superb again today. Midfield weren't on it because they weren't allowed to be honest. Talai missing sitters. But it's one game, but I've learned not to underestimate teams. You can't in this league, as cleverly pointed out. GT, not a single sitter presented itself at Talai today. No, don't disagree with that. That bicycle kick was absolutely... I've got the highlights for the pain that we have to sit through that. Marcus, for some reason, Joe not playing, we look a totally different team. Going on to the leadership point that we said. Marcus also saying Aaron Cusack said it wasn't a hard shot. He should have pushed it away. I've watched the replay and I agree now. I disagreed with Andy, who said in the game next to me, "Oh, he should have really caught that." And having watched it back, yeah, he should have done. Or he should have palmed it further along the line that it was trajectory it was going, but is what it is. Adcole evening, overconfidence among a young team on the back of 2 big wins. No big deal, you live and learn. Exactly that. That's good. That's our thoughts really tonight. Graham Byrne evening as well. Nice assist from Hammond, laughing out loud. Benny Van Life, I couldn't figure out if Hammond could have done better for the goal or not. Cracking pen save though. Yeah, and it definitely was a pen he gave away. Also, as I just scroll down a bit further, Argo 83, other more experienced players have to step up. Yes, we played better and more organised with Edwards, but he's not going to be here forever. Nope, good shout. Also, Chris Peck. I think Dale was poor today, agreeing with Carl's sentiments there. Lots of work, but not the quality you'd expect from an experienced League One player. Boateng played far too high, massively missed. What's his energy and hustling on the pitch? And also, Stephen Cooper. Evening, Stephen is also paired with the live. Depressed, can't drink, eat, or talk to the missus. Once again, they gave us hope and then go backwards. See you tomorrow, Mike. Yes, he is collecting his polo tops tomorrow. Also, Harold, evening Harold, is in as well tonight.
Evening Harold, you did it again.
Evening Harold. Evening Harold.
Behave, boys, behave. Chris Harrington, hopefully this Thursday. So yeah, Harold saying felt like a kind of rob today. How many shots I think he means we had, but Talai too isolated. And Phil Tor, evening Phil. I did speak to him just before kickoff, and he said, "You didn't read out my comment the other day." He said hello to me the other week as well. So there you go. Cleverly, tactically naive, Phil says. Posh 10-man defence, breakaway goal, job done. I do think there was a lacking of a bit of a plan B to change it up in that first half. But yeah, I don't feel there was any sitters as such. I do think Hammond should have really done better with that shot, although I felt his distribution in the game was pretty good again, and generally overall he performed well. So yeah, Carl, I'll go back to you. I mean, it's just one of those where this league is going to be a bit like that, but the danger is that obviously we're now a defeat away from, and depending on other results, dropping back into the relegation zone. That win gave Peterborough 7 points. We're obviously on 9. So, yeah, it's a little bit touch and go, but I'm sure we just need Patterson back, get Mackenzie back and as well, because that creativity Patterson brings, I think, was so missing today. A bit like Watts not being there.
Yeah, definitely. I still think it's really early. I mean, come on, it's if we won today, would have been mid-table. So at the moment, I don't think
we're just bottom mid-table.
Huh?
We're still mid-table. We're just bottom mid-table.
Well, bottom mid-table.
Still below.
If we won today, we could have been 12th. So there's no room to panic at the moment. We've seen, like Hardy said, we've seen some decent highs in the last few weeks. We've seen what we can do, but we're still prone to making performances like we did today, especially when we go 1-0 down. We got to be stronger, and we've got to be resolute and try and respond better to conceding. I think going back to Ashby Hammond, I think the law of averages, if he kept diving to his right, he was going to save a penalty at some point.
Law of averages is brilliant. Yeah,
the clock is right twice a day. Yeah,
exactly. So yeah, of course. I mean, he could have gone the opposite way and still missed. But yeah, I think diving to the right eventually has caught up with him. So fair play on that one. he could have done better with the save. I mean, yes, he saved the shot, but he could have parried it around to the right or even catching it. I mean, Harvey's got more experience talking about goalkeeping than I have, but
oh, good shout, yeah.
Yeah, I think with Hazard playing on Tuesday against Spurs and the way Tom was talking in his press conference, I think we'll see Hazard back in as number one against Burton, and I think that is needed if we want to be solid at the back, conceding goals to try and win games, and you need your best players, and that includes Hazard. Yes, Ashby Hammond has come on leaps and bounds since the start of the season, and I think he's proved himself as a League One keeper. He's proved himself as a number two. I don't think he's going to be number one, that's for sure. And I think Hazard's a better all-round player for me. And yeah, Tuesday is going to be massive for the upcoming games. Seeing hopefully Mackenzie play. Obviously Hazard back. We still don't know if Patterson's available for Tuesday yet. Still touch and go with that apparently. Early, I think. So yeah, we're missing injured players like crazy, and Edwards' red card hasn't helped matters. I know Gavin said we're still talking to free agents, but these talks seem to be going on forever now. Whether we can speed these talks up, because we're still lacking some quality, especially
still finding the right person, though, isn't it? You just because they're free.
Yeah, especially with Watts now being out for a while. I still think we're quite light, and the subs kind of showcase that. I don't understand the Peppel substitution, because obviously we've got Tolle up there who's quite strong and kind of plays that role anyway. So putting Peppel up there didn't really make sense to me. And then Oseni again not really getting any game time, and he started the season quite well, so he must be quite gutted that he didn't get on the pitch today. I thought Finn was quite effective when he got the ball, but he didn't have it that many times. It's a positive substitution, but
yeah, it just
didn't have quality.
Yeah, Carl, it seemed to die off for me about 5 minutes after those subs. It sort of started to die off, and nothing was going our way.
I mean, Peppel brings nothing. There's no. There's just nothing. I don't know. He's just not doing it for me at the moment. I don't want to be too harsh on him. I'm sure there's a good player in there somewhere, but when you've got Tolle up there as a target man kind of thing, you don't need another target man.
No,
there's no one to run on to balls, is there?
Yeah, well, and also when you weren't really creating anything when the ball was going up, it's I've sort of to give Peppel, it's tough, but just to give him some a bit of a break in the sense of that, he hasn't come into a game where we've been sort of outclassing the opposition, and he's more he can come in more relaxed, trying to come on and maybe overdo it. A few players, even Mumba today, overdid it a few times. I mean, in the first half he was pitting passes wider players, which was unusual for him. So just a bit. It looked like they got us frustrated, I think, early on. Let's just go to the stats, the player stats. Oh, let me bring up the chat as it's disappeared off a slide. I mean, Harvey, I'll just quickly come to you on the Hammond one then, obviously being a keeper yourself. So, I mean, he scored a 7.4, which if I look, Wire do got an 8.4. So, he's sort of second behind there in terms of the player stats on FOTMob. He should have done better with that shot from Kyoso, shouldn't he?
Yeah, I think so. I think, especially for a goalkeeper as a League One standard, I think maybe if I face the shot and I do that, I don't get as much criticism. But I think for a goalkeeper like that, which has the strength and conditioning and should be able to take balls like that relatively comfy and should be able to try hold on to it, or like you said, push it wide, they should know subconsciously that it can't just go in front of them. And it's disappointing, but I think that overall his game, you can't really complain on that one error, because the penalty itself, I think when the penalty was given, I think all of us thought it was a goal. I know I did. I think I did. My dad next to me, I was like, I hope he dives the right way, and he actually did this time. So it is a mistake, but it's a mistake this happened due to, I think, inexperience at a good level. But he can't be making that in this side, I don't think.
No, I agree. But I did. I mean, as GT was just saying in the comments as well, he was excellent with his distribution today. I felt like that right up even to the penalty save. It's like, yeah, he's showing everybody that don't just think that Hazard's going to come in, as Mr. Barnard says on the Block 9 podcast, and just take my spot straight away against Burton. But because I'm sure he watches. But yeah, Gavin, looking at that sort of back three, also along with that, who came in to do the pre-match interview and today, and anything of note said there?
Cornell Such, not really. David Fitzgerald had the mic. So it was like comedy hour rather than anything to do with football. Very entertaining, but not if you're looking for any nuggets of information from any player. Corner was on the stage for about 3 or 4 minutes. Most of the time, Dave Fitzgerald was talking about his wine conference in Hungary and how he learned how to say cheers, which was nice. So there we go. To be fair, I was
Don't bring him back on again, Argyle? That's what Gavin's saying.
No, he was very entertaining, but
I'm
it's not like Gaz with a cutting football
being a player
or an anecdote or how are the boys, as one of the players. It was a very good entertainer, but he was entertaining. He wasn't trying to suck any pearls of wisdom out of the grey matter of Mr. Such. So before,
so that back line.
So back line, thought they were actually pretty good. I was disappointed. Ross came off. I still think he's a bright spark. I think.
Do we know why though, Gavin? Was it a knock or just a change?
No, having watched the presser on the way home, it was we want to move to a back four. We didn't want to. TC didn't want to waste a substitution tranche 10 minutes in for him not to be able to get on. He still can't play 90 on his fitness, so they hooked him at half time to have that 3 opportunities to make subs in the second half, which I kind of get. But I thought that Galloway he obviously had lead legs today, or he was carrying a knock, because I thought he was lethargic. He went backwards every time he had the ball. There was no urgency. He didn't look like he was up for it. There was no spark in his play. He didn't win many aerial duels, and so he must be carrying it. He must be carrying the Galloway knock that's been with him since he was 12, because he was pretty ordinary, which was disappointing.
Yeah, he was the complete opposite at Luton, wasn't he? He's quite
he was amazing at Luton. That's the, I suppose.
Is it the confidence though and the energy? I think that's the thing. The game just felt like we weren't going to get anything from it.
Just flat, isn't it?
I think when you're holding on to something, your natural backs against the wall reactions of yesteryear, and I'm talking last season, the season before, when we were the underdog and the plucky underdog that kept Liverpool out for 200 minutes and all the other bits and bobs that have gone with it, and we're backs against the wall against Brentford and blah blah blah. I think that kicks in the muscle memory from those players that were around. When you're trying to dominate on the front foot, I think this is probably what TC was saying earlier, really, wasn't it? Around mentality, is when you're expected to win, when you're expected to dominate, when you get a lot of the ball, which we did 65%, it's a different mindset. And unfortunately, Galloway didn't have the zip in his game to get the ball wide. I thought Eamon Benarous, when he came on, gave opportunity for lots of really good angles to get down the line and whip crosses in. He did it 2 or 3 times and they were decent. But he didn't get the ball enough from Galloway, because every time Galloway got the ball, he saw him in space, put his foot on it, had a cup of tea, put the tea dishes in the sink, and then went, pass back to Hammond, which was really disappointing. I thought Mitchell was very solid until he came off. And I thought Werribee was probably man of the match, actually.
Yeah, it's not a bad shout, actually. I was impressed with, I should have said that earlier, he impressed me throughout the game. I mean, just looking at the FOTMob scores, just to read out for those that are listening, posts 8.4 to Werribee, 6.5 to Mitchell, 6.7 to Ross.
6.8 to Mitchell.
Sorry?
6.8 to Mitchell. Don't do him a disservice.
Sorry, yeah, you're right. This, I need to get my glasses out. This is what old age does to you. So yeah, 6.8 to Mitchell, and then coming in that sort of midfield area with the wing backs with Mumba, Soranoda. I think Mumba's 6.4 is probably fair. Ibrahim 6.5, I don't think was fair. He seemed to be the one trying to do the most. Boateng, sort of quiet in the game, but he's that sort of reliable one that doesn't always stand out throughout games, but scored a 7. And Soranola, who did okay, but I think like everybody just struggled in spells. And also he did cramp up a little bit, Harvey, at the end again. So you sort of little bit worried there if he's sort of picking something up and needs to be rested. So I certainly wouldn't play him on Tuesday. But yeah, he's been a bit of a machine, but he's certainly feeling it from seeing him sort of slow down and feel his calf, I think it was towards the end of that match.
Sorry, who's this? Soranola?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of games, isn't it? I think if we're looking into it on a deeper level, on a personal level for Sorinola, we look at how many games he's played in the last 12 months to prior to that. I think it's a lot of strain on his body, and I think he does really well at running up and down the channel for as long as he's on. Most of the time, it is 90 minutes. The only worry thing I have coming into this next stretch of games, sorry to go a bit off topic, is that Ibrahim is still one yellow card off from getting a suspension.
Yeah, and he did well holding that today because he did
I
get
thought
a
he was
couple
going
of
to get booked today with that Egypt who was giving him a torrid time, and he pulled both over like naughty school kids. I thought he was going to book him then.
Yeah, well, I was saying, because after Burton, it's the derby, isn't it?
Yeah.
Am I right in that? Yeah.
Hang on. Let me look.
They've got Bradford at home, haven't they? After that,
And I'll read them out in a second. Hang on, I'm just going into it now. So we've got Tottenham Tuesday, and then it's Burton away, then it's Wigan at home, then it's
Mansfield, Wimbledon,
and then it's Wimbledon, and then it's Exeter on the 23rd of October, Thursday night.
Yeah, see, looking into that stretch of games, we haven't got very many easy games, and for Ibrahim to be on one yellow card, I don't know which one I'd want him to miss out on. I thought today would have been a good day for him to get that yellow card, to get a suspension, and then get the clear off. But yeah, I think Sorinola today, hopefully it's not nothing, just a little knock, and give him a rest Tuesday, and he'll be back on Saturday.
Yeah, no, I think it's great to see his energy and stuff. I mean, Carl, Ibrahim with a 6.5. I mean, all right, no player had a great game, but when you consider some of these FOTMOB scores, you know,
a bit dubious,
he is one that just keeps trying to make something out of nothing, doesn't he, and get the game going.
Yeah, going back to Sorinola, pre-game in the press conferences, he said he runs about 10 to 12 kilometers a game, so there's no reason why he pulls up with cramp every 5 minutes, especially at the end of games. There's just the amount of work he does, the amount of running he does. I think he'll be okay going forward. But yeah, I wouldn't risk playing him on Tuesday. Definitely not. There's a bit of a waste to risk any more injuries. But it seems like Tom wants to kind of go full strength again with a few youngsters thrown in to risk. But I suppose winning breeds confidence, and that's what happened after the Cheltenham game. He went on a little run, didn't we, for a couple of games? So maybe he wants to look at that as a way of kind of getting a bit of confidence back in by getting a win and hopefully settling the team down again. But yeah, Ibrahim 6.5 is a bit dubious. I thought he was one of our best players again today. Some of his twists and turns and him trying to get something going. I quite liked him a bit more further forward today. And Ross, he was solid again. I think, like Gavin said, he can't play a full 90 yet, which is disappointing. Hopefully he can get some more minutes on Tuesday. He'll be hopefully be able to go to Burton and hopefully complete a full 90, because he looks the part. He didn't put a foot wrong in the first half, and I thought we struggled then when Galloway came on with the intensity, like Gavin said. We just kept going back, and we were quite slow to play out from the back, and he kind of zapped all our impetus when he came on, to be honest. And Tolai, really, really strong performance again from him. I think he is an absolute steal for what we got him for. And certainly, I still think he's an upgrade on Ryan Hardy. I know he brings a bit of a different perspective on the game, but yeah, he looks the dog's bollocks.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to mute my microphone because Sophie next to me is eating a French fry crisps, and so I know when people are listening later, and apology for the air going on in the background, that's why. But she loves sitting in and watching the show, so that's always good. Bless her. Gavin, I'm going to come back to midfield into Boateng, and obviously I think he had the captain's armband today, if I'm right in saying, yeah. Do you think Mitchell's turning into more of that leader that should really take that armband? I know, no disrespect to Boateng because he's been brilliant all season, but it did feel like there was a lack of a voice and leadership on the pitch at times today.
Difficult one with the group. I don't really know the dynamics of the group very well. Boateng's a leader by action rather than a leader by voice, I suppose. Yeah. He does all the hard yards really well. He tackled back numerous times today, broke up play, got the play forward, won most of his headers, I think, his aerial duels. So I think there's two type of captain in there. There's the vocal one that organises, G's up, makes sure everyone's doing their job, and then there's the quieter version that does things and like sort of leads by example. He's probably in the latter, I would say. I think the vice captain of this side, looking at the 11 today, is probably Wiredu. But I think he's been fragile mentally from the last few weeks because there's a number of bedwetters that like to jump up and down on his balls every time he makes a mistake, which is interesting to say the least. But I think if he had had a decent start of the season, I think he'd probably have the armband, if I'll be honest. Mitchell's a great talker. The other thing as well is what does it say to a football club when you're giving the captaincy on a Saturday to a lone player?
Good point. I think the difference as well, Gav, that it's just presence, isn't it, when Edwards is on?
Because he's like 9,000 years old. He's been doing it since he was like 4 years old. He's been captain of the club since 1836. And apart from that little small period where he got on the small little boat or the Mayflower to go to America and come back, he's been a pretty constant part of the club ever since. So, well, joking aside, he oozes because he's, as Tom said many times, he's the on-field coach, right?
Yeah.
He knows the game plan inside out. He organises players really well. He gets them in, and also they look up to him when things go wrong to say, "What do I need to do now, Joe?" And he tells them. So we don't have that. We need an inspirational leader. We don't have one in that 11, clearly, because if we did, it wouldn't be Boateng having the armband. As I say, I think he's a leader by example rather than a leader by voice. For me, I think if TC had a bit more confidence in Wiredu mentally, I think he would have the armband, but he doesn't. So it's a difficult one.
What do you think to the missing? Carl just posted, but I know I've seen that noted a few times online. But Houghton is someone that probably we should have maybe kept to help just bring that experience and leadership and stability in the middle of the park.
We don't know whether he was offered a new contract or not. He probably was.
Yeah.
It was probably punitive compared to what he wanted. He's probably got, I think, a couple of year deal with Stevenage, and he's probably got more money up there. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
He ain't here. If my auntie had Dangley, she'd be my uncle. So there's no point in harping on about players who aren't here. We are where we are. We've got what we've got. I think I'd be a little bit pissy if I was TC at our club captain in the minute, because although I didn't think it was warranting a red card, it was still certainly
Reckless.
Not the brightest of moments from our club captain on Saturday. And if he had got a yellow and was with us today, I think he probably would have been the difference between us winning or getting a point in the game and losing it.
Yeah. No, yeah. You could see it just rush of blood to the head. And there's plenty of players that have been there in those situations. And it's just like, I think, and that's why
I think it's really hard for Tom to kind of get on to players with yellow cards and discipline when he's just as bad himself at the moment. That's the problem.
Well, it's just there's a lot of. I mean, the officiating
what you
today
preach
wasn't
at the
great.
end of the day, haven't you?
Sorry?
You've got to practice what you preach at the end of the day.
Yeah, you do, but you always do as I say, not as I do. But the officiating wasn't great again today, was it?
Don't start me on the officiating.
Yeah, no. I'm just gonna go back to some of the comments now. Give you guys a bit of a break. Spencer asking me where you can buy the polo shirts from. I'll pick up with you, as I said, separately. Stephen is going to get his. We've obviously got the with the new All Things Argyle that I've put on it, and it does have a little the logo bit at the top as well on the back, just because I'm all for detail. So Carl and Andy, yours are already, as I said to you earlier, and I will get them and the new mug. So this is the actual finished. Oh, was that not my mic? Sorry, listeners. That's the actual finished mug. So it goes right to the top of the lip there. So that I shall get these on the site tomorrow. So now I'm happy with the finished product. What else we got? Argyle 83. Galloway spends half his Argyle career in Derriford, has great games, then goes missing. Brett saying, need to reset our expectations. New team, young and inexperienced, but highly talented players need time to add depth to the squad. Green Army, he says. And that is Jamal. Even Jamal's paired up with the channel as well. I prefer your esteemed evaluations to FOTMob scores. It's interesting where they get. I'd love to just get someone to bring an insight into how all that data gets actually collected and put onto these platforms. I'll try and look into that. Stephen Cooper saying, Mike asked me to talk to Cat Tower Cabs to sponsor your pod. I think they would. And then Harvey coming in soon after saying, what about me, or something along those lines. I will speak to you about that tomorrow. Not you, Harvey, Stephen.
No, definitely not Harvey.
So Harvey's got enough. He's earning too much money on his YouTube channel. Sorry, Arv. How many points from the next 3? Looks easy, but are these players winners? Argo83 says. According to Cleverly, they have recruited young, inexperienced, and players used to losing. Did he say that? I haven't listened to the presser, so I'll pick up. Right, fine, okay. So that's a bit of a dig then, isn't it? Also further down, Ian, good evening, Ian M. Mitchell, that's for the captain's question. And actually, Gavin made a point there. Yeah, what does it say if you give a lone player that armband? But sometimes some players just want someone to really step forward in a game for them. And he's one that could do that. Mark, evening, Mark, on X saying Borough's defending got stronger as the game went on. We had no answer today and missed Edwards' leadership and Watts badly. Yeah, they did. And actually, they created some brilliant counter-attacks, but you can also see where they lack in that quality as well, but they got the 3 points. Andy B. Mitchell was very vocal, organises everyone at the back. We need leaders everywhere. One of our signed players as a skipper for me, touching up on that point. And then we go, Brett saying at the bottom here, you don't need an armband to shout and organise. Mitch will continue to organise and shout without the armband. I'd like to see a proven Argyle player with a few seasons under their belt as captain. Yeah, no, that's also a good point. And he also followed that up with not many of those left, though. Tycho, evening, Tycho. We do desperately need to get away from the reliance on Edwards. Much as I love him, it's not responsible to expect him to be present for every game. Yeah, another good point. Mark saying TC hardly set an example either, going on by what Carl said. And just a couple more at the bottom. Steve's now joined us. Evening, Steve. Steve, God, you were going on in the WhatsApp chat, Steve, analysing everything. Take a breath, young man. It is what it is today, I think. Steve, though, saying in the WhatsApp group that he feels that we have got to go out. We touched upon it earlier. I think Carl said it, and try and get some more free agents, but you just got to still find the right people. And Harold saying the Luton game was great, but I wonder how many points losing Edwards will cost. He was missed badly today. And we've had a couple of other people, Stan, who's dropped in tonight. And I did see someone called something Puppet earlier that popped in and said hello. So, and Ben Collins, sorry, Ben, I just realised you did come in earlier. Very flat at Home Park today. Was everyone mourning the loss of Andrew Parkinson? Well, we actually said on Thursday with that, Harvey, that well, you weren't on it, but we were talking about the rumours again, and we said, oh, maybe it's just a false rumour because there wasn't really much talk going on. And then suddenly on Friday, obviously it gets announced that he's stepping down. And, look, it is what it is, but to step down this early in a season and to literally say effective from that date yesterday, I'll no longer be CEO is a bit telling of the situation of Argyle or Simon wanting to reset a few things, don't you think?
Yeah, and I think that it got to the point with Parkinson where he had to go eventually. I think that with his stand on a lot of fans and how a lot of fans felt towards him, I think there probably wasn't too healthy. But I think it can't go unnoticed what he did for the club and how much he did for the club, and it takes guts to step down from a position and to step back and let it grow in its own way. So yeah, I think when I seen it, I wasn't too shocked. But I've got to thank him for what he done. Undoubtedly, what he done was a hell of an upgrade to the club and set us up to push on forward.
Yeah, I think Gavin, you always sort of said to me when we spoke about Parkinson. I mean, I put a video out on the channel on TikTok or something and said, look, he joined in 2018 and obviously initially to see the Mayflower stand finished, and then got put into the CEO role within that year. And yeah, he has done a lot of what Simon Hallett wanted him to set out and do. And the other board members, and he's seen some great success in amongst that. I know you always said to me he's more of a good, stronger COO than a CEO. But look, it needed a bit of a holistic reset, really. I'm just surprised it didn't happen earlier before the season kicked off.
Yeah, I think that covered himself in glory with the Folkestone Park development. I think
that's a good point.
That's over budget, and that's meant to be a skill set. 1 week on, 1 week off is never ideal in any role you're doing. You can't work from Warrington. You can't even work in Warrington from Warrington. So that's a challenge. I don't think he was probably as good as he could have been front facing. So he's very much a strategist behind the scenes. Did a wonderful job at growing revenues. Did a wonderful job at the sort of structure of the club. Took it from 5-6 mil revenue to, what was it, 30, 31 at its peak. No one can take that away. It's a fantastic achievement. But football's a very emotive game. Your customers are 15, 16,000 emotive screaming channels every week, and to not be able to click with them and get them to buy into what was going on and off the field, I think was a challenge. And he's gone at the right time for me.
Yeah, no, I think so. Well, yeah, it's just unsettling with all the changes, but I think you're right. Folkestone Park and with the situation around that probably hasn't helped. But he can walk away, his head held high. I know he wasn't sort of liked by a lot of the fans for a number of different reasons. But at the end of the day, yeah, you can't fault his tenure, and we'll see who they look to go to next for CEO. So that'll be interesting to watch. So Harvey's going to go in a minute because he's shattered and I can hear his mum shouting it's bedtime again. So sorry.
Robert Ducky's been sort of positioned on the bathtub. He's hiding in the bubbles.
Well, I'm gonna, because to be fair, sort of, all right, we're 40 minutes in, so we know it's a difficult and challenging one when the results are bad. I'm just going to bring up some of the stats as well before Harvey shoots off. So this looks like the complete reverse of what happened at Luton. So 66% possession to us. Interestingly, expected goals 1.48 to Argyle, 1.7 to Borough, 19 total shots. Were they classing ones out in midfield that went here, there, and everywhere? 8 to Borough. Shots on target 4, and that would obviously be the Mitchell header as well, and the Talai's wonderful bicycle kick. 4 to Borough again, and we have actually seen teams at home park take that first chance, and that's exactly what they did. Big chances, 3 to Argyle, 2 to Borough. And missed big 3 to us and only 1 to them. So yeah, accurate passes 82% to Argyle, but that says what we were saying earlier. Yeah, it was aimless passing going on at times, so no surprise that's higher. 70% in fairness to Borough as well. 8 fouls committed, 11 to them, 7 corners to us, and 1. That's actually, Harvey, a final thought from you is the set pieces. They were crap again, weren't they, really? Sorinola wasn't having much luck with most of those today.
Yeah, I think it's been very inconsistent all season. I think that we've had some games, I can't really think, well, we could use Stockport as an example, maybe, where the set pieces and the crossing was top notch. There's definitely been other games in there. But today I certainly felt, especially with Ben Ayush when he come on, I think where we've seen at the start of the season, his crossing ability has been phenomenal, and today it just didn't hit right. But I think the shots and the shots on target ratio there for Argyle today is showing a problem. I think if you have 19 shots on target in one game of football, you've got to be getting at least 5, 10, or 8 to 10 maybe on target, and that was our problem for today. So yeah, I think today it's just shown a dip. a dip. And someone did say on the last podcast I was on that Argyle's form is never linear, and it's always going to be up and down. And I think today that's proven it by today. And hopefully Tom Cleverley and the team can put it right next Saturday.
Yeah, I'm going to, before you shoot off, Carl put it, not Carl, sorry, who said it? Stephen Cooper in Carl's reply, but says, great job for Warnock to take over from Parkinson. And Carl responding in the chat saying, would be good to have in some capacity. Not for me. I think you probably just, no.
It couldn't be a CEO as long as he's got a hole in his arse.
Exactly.
I think he's too too much of an opinion, and to be someone like that.
He's not a business person.
No.
The CEO's position of the club is to run the business. It's not to run the. He could be director of football all day.
Director of football,
Yeah.
But not a CEO. No.
Exactly. Don't disagree. And also, you want, that you're going to want someone in there that is, sort of hungry, maybe younger, to come in and sort of with some experience and sort of really sort of get involved. We talked about, Gavin said, the management walk around the MWA. I completely agree with that sort of style. Getting in and finding out what's going on in places. So yeah, we'll wait and see what comes of that.
I think a deal's done already.
Yeah, well, quite possibly.
I don't think anyone will be particularly surprised on who the new CEO is, and I think the deal's done already, and that person's working the notice. Is my guess.
Yeah, fine, fair enough.
We won't be surprised.
No.
Go on.
I'm not saying anything. No, I'll talk to you after, but you won't.
Okay.
No, well, there we go. Look, we'll soon
It's
find out.
It's not Neil Warnock, by the way. That's not surprising.
So, Gavin, is it you?
Not Derek Adams, is it?
You've blown me now. No.
I saw. By the way, I saw. Just made me think of him. Daryl Flavhaven was in there doing the keeper warm up today. So clearly, until Argyle find that replacement, he's
working his notice.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere. So Harvey, we'll let you go off to bed, seeing as you got a game tomorrow. Thanks for jumping on as always.
I was trying to say that I was up at about 10 to 5 this morning with my children. Right, I've spent 6 hours drinking heavily. Right, and I've still got more stamina than you. And how old are you now?
I'm 20 years young. I am.
Jesus,
I'm still a little baby. I am.
Just get some stamina, man. Seriously.
What were you doing at 20, Gav?
At 20, I was working 65, 70 hours a week running a restaurant and then chasing women bloody hard on my days off.
Well, is that because you're
There you go.
So, yeah, look, go off, mate, and enjoy the rest of your
week. Ducky.
Good luck for your game tomorrow.
See you later.
Anybody wondering as well about the Tammert and Foley? The match was called off because a council. Also, actually, I saw because my dad's an Ipswich fan and there's a chat group with them all in. But that got postponed, I think it was, or something, because of the heavy rain today.
Yeah, it was our Bolton pitch from a few years ago.
Yeah,
the referee decided enough was enough and turned it off. Instead of letting it going on, and there was no swimming in the corner flag from one of our goal scorers, which was a bit of a shame.
So Mark saying David Byrne incoming in the comments. Jamal,
who's David Byrne?
Sorry,
who's David Byrne?
Well, I was wondering that, but I didn't want to say it in case.
That guy that's at the fans forum.
No, that was Paul. Forget his surname.
Paul. Maybe he means Paul Byrne then.
Maybe he means Paul Byrne. Who knows?
Maybe it wouldn't be a sort of too much of a surprise if
I think it's Jan Mulby, but that's just my preference.
Yamal saying, well said, Harvey. Thank you. Love the vlogs. Yes, as a note, please go and check out his YouTube channel for all his match day vlogs. And also, while you're there, subscribe and press the bell on his channel, and then also make sure you do the same on ours. So Mark saying spot on Matt on Soranola. FS10, excuse me, evening. Trevor East was at the game today. First time for a while. Any coincidence coming with that comment? Matt Corey, actually, in response to what Mark was saying, spot on. Matt Corey said, surprised that... Oh, hang on, it's just refreshed on me. That's typical, isn't it? Where's it gone? Surprised that people aren't criticising Soranola. Slowed the game down so much today. Final ball was so poor. Fans let him off because he runs around a bit. Isn't that what bare minimum should be? I think that I can understand why you're saying that. I think it is a bit harsh. I just alluded to his set pieces not being great today at all. I think the guy is carrying a little niggle. I'm not trying to give him excuses, but he has done so many minutes for us, probably one of the highest minutes out of any player this season. And I think, everybody didn't have a great game with some of their passing and their balls in. So, yeah, but I can sort of see why you'd be saying that. ADZ adds Taylor cleverly said today's attitude would not be. It would not be. It will be an easy game playing. It won't be an easy game playing the bottom of the league table. Looked like a team thought a win would be dead cert wrong. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. Ads, we're going with a 3-0. What I'll do is I'll segue then into Tom Cleverley's post-match with a little clip from Argyle TV before I come to Gavin and Carl to give a bit more emphasis on the actual full press conference.
And I suppose now going forwards, we've had a couple of really big highs with wins and a win away from home. This is now a little step back, but how crucial is it to not kind of go OTT on a defeat, or maybe is it?
No. I've got a real trust in the players that they can react from a setback. We've done it after the Cardiff game. We went on to win 3 after a difficult start in the start of the season. We went on a run of I think 2 wins and a draw. So I've got 100% trust in the players that they can react to a setback. The trust that we all need to develop is that we can trust the players when we're the favourites, when we've won 4 on the bounce. Can we trust that there's going to be consistency? And today we failed that test, and it's important if you want to be a winning team or if you want to play for a club that there is pressure. We need to improve that mindset.
So, unless it came out post, I haven't seen the player one. I've got the goal or the match highlights, which I'll run in a second. But on that press conference, picking up on the comment earlier, which I think one of you or both of you agreed was said. So, obviously, in that presser, cleverly then bemoaning the fact that we've taken on players that are used to losing and highlighting that point again. Is that the case, Carl?
Yeah, it all comes back to having kind of winning mentalities and experience, and it's going to take time to gel, isn't it? It's not going to click. We've seen glimpses of what we can do with the players we've signed, but it's going to be choppy. It's going to be up and down until we kind of find our rhythm. We get into the season a little bit more and try and string a few wins together and not being so unpredictable. But you're going to get that when you sign in lower league players or people like Wiradoo from a struggling League 2 side, projects that we're working on with like Peppel and Aseni. So it's not going to be smelling like a bed of roses that quickly. I think things will take time to gel. This season was never going to be about, for me, going straight back up, kind of, winning the league or kind of top 2. I would like to think we've got a strong enough squad to push kind of the top 10 and maybe outside the playoffs, but I still think we're a little bit short for challenging for any kind of honours this season, whether that's playoffs or not. I think January, I know that's a while off, but I think that could be a big month if we're kind of in range of those areas. But yeah, it's always going to be a work in progress, and to be honest, I just want a stable season with no risk of managers walking or getting sacked. I just want stability, and I think Tom will bring stability. I don't think it's going to happen this season. I think we'll be fine. I think mid-table, I don't think we'll be a bad finish with the squad we've got, but I think it's a work in progress, and I think it is what it is at the moment. Yes, we've made mistakes probably in the summer, not getting in a few more experienced heads. I think that's where we're kind of lacking, and with Joe now being suspended, like I touched on earlier, we're just missing that experience and that know-how of starting games, finishing games, and just having some voices on the pitch, because I think we've got a lot of players who are quite quiet, especially Boateng, given the armband. I thought he was quite quiet on the pitch today. Mitchell is that kind of leader. You need your captain to be vocal, and we don't really have many of those at the moment, which is a shame.
No, sort of done that bit to death. I think I'm just gonna say, look, is what it is at the moment on that. But yeah, I mean, Cleverly does feel like he's in it for the long run. That's for sure. And Simon feels confident of that as well. consistency, Gavin, it is important, isn't it? I mean, because it can become a habit losing and it can become a habit winning. I think we've all said, give it to the end of October till we see what really starts to, show where we're going to possibly end up being. By that time, we'll have Edwards back again. Hopefully, Patterson will stay fit and injury free. McKenzie the same. Hazard, So there's still. That's where the positives are still to look. But did he say anything else of note in the presser today?
Not really. It was just as sort of Carl just alluded to, a bit around winning mentality and consistency and keeping your foot on the neck, I suppose, of the opposition. I think the spine of the team does look different if you have Hazard, Mitchell, Hazard, Mitchell, Boateng, Ibrahim, Talai. That spine's a lot stronger. The experience will increase with McKenzie and certainly Patterson, who I think is only a week or so away. I think he will be the key that will unlock defences because we don't have that at the minute very much. I thought Dale was that kind of player, and he probably is, but he's a winger, not a 10. And I think we've played him too centrally today. Well, certainly that's the way it felt on the pitch. It looked a little bit lopsided. I think, Carl, your point on January being a key month, I think is spot on. I think if we're in the top 12, top 13, I think there will be some money made available to kick on and try and find the players that we need to get that back. Although a bit like last January, if you then got Amici, Pleguezuelo, Robert and Watts back, as well as one or two more signings, it will feel like we've just signed 4 or 5 players. We just got to, with this squad, we just got to stay intact, haven't we? We've got to stay close to that sort of top 10 or top 6 if we can. It's going to be a frustrating time. I think you can just see in the mannerisms of TC tonight, he's an exceptionally frustrated man. I think he thought we were on a bit of a roll. We'd finally unlocked the potential. And then all of a sudden, we've slipped over at home. So I think it's going to be up and down. And as Harvey alluded to, it's not going to be linear. It's always going to be up and down. So there we are.
Yeah, look, let me go straight. I'll come back to some of the comments in a minute. Let me just go and play these highlights for what it's worth. So this is absolutely bang on a Stonewall pen.
I'm so glad Rudy didn't give it away.
Yeah, that's true.
Great save there.
Yeah. And that just really got him fired up. I just felt he was wanting to make a stance today.
And he didn't dive early either.
No.
Good.
Yeah, it's weak.
Yeah. He's quite at stretch for it. Yeah, he's quite at stretch for it, but I felt it was enough and he could have just palmed it along.
But to be fair, we're so narrow there. Bally's out of position. There's loads of things that could have happened before that.
Yeah. Well, I think from what I know, Andy sort of isn't always his sort of biggest fan, but I think Bally might have lost it for them to have that attack in the first place. So this is the flick on header. And so the question was asked in the chat, trying to find it now, by Char Channel, what a name. Was that over the line for?
It looked well over the line for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we can't pause over the line there.
But no goal line tech in League One, folks. That was, to be fair, yeah, good shot, good save.
Carl nearly screamed your name off when I was going in. This is hell of a save.
Yeah.
Oh.
Even
and every other
replay
day, that Perry's in the back of the net.
Give the keeper his due, and not much to do all game because of our lacklustre performance. He pulled off a couple of great saves.
I mean, it was straight at the keeper, but hell of a save.
Yeah. Well, it's coming at you at such a
exactly.
velocity, isn't it? And that's where, and like I said, amongst Waidu, Ibrahim for me, and Talai, the standouts today out of a poor performance, but Talai just his confidence is growing. You know, he's coming back to try and help create and win balls when needed. You know, he's sort of, and even him and Ibrahim were linking up quite well, and a couple of misplaced sort of passes, you know, in miscon between the two, but you could see Ibrahim going up and then both having a chat to each other. Oh, I wanted you to run there and all this sort of stuff, but that's good because you got the two trying to work off each other really well. But yeah, I mean, Talai, when he gets the ball, you just think he's going to hit the target every time. So it's time for Gavin's bedtime by the looks of it. The day is finally catching up on him. But yeah, look, I think it's about time, I should say, to start wrapping up. But just to go through some of the other comments in the chat. So yeah, Stephen Vaughan saying we need experienced signings in January, not development players. Yeah, clearly. Stephen Cooper, Gavin can do the food. Oh, that's to your point, or Stephen Cooper's earlier point, saying it'd be nice to get a Christmas drink together with us all and all the viewers. I don't know why you have to then do the food, Gav, but
probably the only qualified chef amongst us. But
I'm not a bad cook, to be fair, but I wouldn't want to cook for a party. But yeah, there could be something we could well do is meet somewhere. We're not likely to find us in clubs on the Barbican potentially, but getting old, you see. But yeah, certainly meet up somewhere for you drinks. Jamal saying a lot of sense about expected final league position, but build as favourites most weeks because last 2 years, yeah, exactly, the championship. It's always going to bring that on. I think I've got the league table here. Actually, it's the last slide to bring up. So we're 17th, still just behind Exeter, who lost, I think it was 2-1 in the end from last time I looked. But you've got Burton on 5 points now, rooted at the bottom. Peterborough 7, that got them off. Blackpool 7, Rotherham United 7. That's the 4 relegation places, followed by Reading, Port Vale, Wycombe Wanderers, and then us. So yeah, an interesting set of results. In the next league game, could see a number of teams change position down at the bottom. Points to the playoffs. In 6th place, Barnsley on 16, Huddersfield Town on 16, Cardiff 17, Lincoln 18, Stevenage 19, and Bradford City on 20.
Some start by Stevenage and Bradford, though, to be fair, isn't it?
Great start, yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to, I mean, because I'm not someone that like monitors our other clubs, good, bad, or indifferent. So I was going to ask you both that. Yeah, it seemed from the comments that obviously that's quite a surprise for the top end so far in this season.
Yeah, they're just riding on a high from last season, I think, Bradford, aren't they? I think they're going to be quite strong again this season, to be fair. And I think with the fan base they've got and the pull they've got with the fans, they should be up there. They're a big club even for League One level. I think they've done very well. And Stevenage is what's his name? Still in charge of Stevenage. The big guy who's not big anymore. He's lost a lot of weight. God, what's his name? Stevenage manager.
Don't know. Hang on.
He was at Rotherham, wasn't he?
Yeah, forgot his name completely. But yeah, he's a decent lower league manager. And I think Stevenage, didn't they do quite well last season as well? But then fell away at the end of the
Revel?
season. But
Is that
Steve Evans? Steve Evans. Is it Steve Evans?
Is it? Oh,
Is he still at Stevenage? I can't remember.
Yeah, no. Oh. Okay. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Anyway. But yeah, it just shows the league is completely, well, not upside down. I mean, there's some big teams still at the bottom. Blackpool are struggling. Reading are down there with us as well. Rotherham have got probably a decent...
No, he's not.
A decent budget as well. So I'm sure there'll be changes for the league table. Yeah, it's still really early. Really, really early.
Alex Revell's the manager of Stevenage.
That's what I was saying, Revel, yeah, because I was looking at the coach win percentage on top one.
I think he's without a club. That's why he's managed to get 6-7 stone.
Right. Okay. So for that or the Manjaro jab.
Oh God!
Other weight loss.
Yeah. Don't use them. Don't use them. We have got a posh fan that's jumped in tonight. I thought we'd have some more Scotty evening welcome in, even if it is towards the end of the show. You got boshed by the posh. Yeah, we absolutely did. Well, we didn't get boshed. But we just got frustrated. You defended well and you took your chance when you needed to. And actually, if you'd had a bit better final third, you could have probably got another one. I think you were more likely to score, it felt like, towards the end of the game than we were. But yeah, so fair play to you for popping in. What else have we got here? Stephen Cooper confirming the name of that player. Sarch scored for Bradford again as well today. Want to see Hazard back in goal, adds Taylor has said. And also, Tom is the right person at the helm. The players need to gel more, and that will take time. We do have some promising players, and it is all about building on things. I do want to, because we sort of asked the question for thoughts on the X post after the game, and I don't tend to read them out. So I'll read a couple of them now. Neil really summed it up quite well for me. Neil Sterland, pedestrian, knocking the ball about aimlessly and lacking creative spark. Southam Sports, evening to whoever's running their X account, an off day for Argyle, but the Posh defended well and carried a threat on the break at times. Argyle ran out of ideas, lack of pace and movement all afternoon, got what they deserved. Nothing. Shane Harris, who also sits in the block 9, evening Shane. No Joe, no go. They haven't got a clue without him. Richard Allen wasn't unexpected at all. They hit form. We start to be complacent, equals the most typical and predictable Argyle versus bottom of the league scoreline. And James, bang average football players. One good game will be 5 shit games. Sorry, Sophia. Rinse and repeat all season will be a very long season. So that's a few of the thoughts on X. Final thoughts, Gavin, from you, please.
Yeah.
Sums it up.
I think it'd be interesting to see what the next Saturday's squad or team will be. If Mackenzie has a very good game, is he going to start and have 50 or 60 minutes? Don't know. Hazard needs to not have a howler, and by the sounds of it, he's walking straight back into the number 1 jersey, which would be interesting. But just something I don't know if this is sort of like washed over me or not. Maybe in a Melbeck fueled haze. But when we took Mitchell off, was he not? Did he have a knock?
Oh, don't know. Answers on a postcard in the chat.
Anyone?
I wondered if
it didn't look like it to me. I just think he changed tactics and formation, didn't he?
Yeah, it just seems strange
I didn't think he did.
Mitchell off when you could have maybe, I don't know. Well, Weirdo was having a great game, so maybe not. But so I think we'll stay back 3 up. Going away, you'd expect us to do some parity there at least. They're having a bit of a shocking time. They're not a great side. We go 3-4, 2-1 up there. I think we'll be fine. But it'll be interesting to see some of these fringe players that are on the way back Tuesday night. Benarous, I thought, had a very good game when he came on. So I think he needs a full game on Tuesday to take place too. But then there's 2 left-sided defensive or wing-backy type players in Mackenzie and him. And we've got Mumba as well. And etc., etc. So it seems like all our form players play in one place, or all the players that could come back play in one place, which is interesting. Pato's the big miss for me. I'm hoping to God that the team can wave their magic wands or whatever they do, magic mushrooms or Gus Honey Buns, bunny hops, whatever happens in that physio room. That's why, magic wands. And they can just get the man back fit, because I thought QPRE was the best player on the field and unfortunately went off after missing a penalty and doing his hamstring. So if he can get back fit, I think he'd be the player that would unlock defences at this level.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
By the way, I just want to mention Albion keep marching on. So I think it was 31-15 away. So they're top of the league. So for those rugby enthusiasts, so I've not seen Ninja Matt tonight. Those rugby enthusiasts will know that Albion have won away. I think it's Bishop Stortford, and they are top of the league, and I'll probably go there Saturday to try and numb the pain of potentially losing to the Brewers.
Is there good shout? And is there a Argyle ladies game tomorrow, Gavin?
There is, but they are away, so I will not be travelling with the children. As much as I'd love to. I think they're home again the following Sunday, which I will attend.
Fair enough. And so the next game, Carl, then is against Tottenham at home, or the under-21s. Tottenham, I should say. I haven't decided if I'm going to go to that or not. I might do. I normally always like to go when I can, so that's for sure. But yeah, go on. What's your final thoughts? And are you going to turn up to that virtual?
No, I'm back at work on Tuesday, so I'll be missing that one. I mean, if I'm not working, I'll probably go along to the games because it's just an evening out and more time to watch Argyle, isn't it? And some of the fringe players and some of the young lads, it's the only chance we get to see them play. So if I wasn't working, I would have been there. But yeah, looking forward to the Tuesday game, getting some injured players back into the side, getting some minutes in their legs, with hopefully with a view of some of them, getting more minutes at Burton or potentially starting. I think, by the sounds of it, I think it's going to be too early for Patterson, which is a shame. Because I think he's going to improve us massively because he was the signing that I was most looking forward to seeing this season when we signed him quite early on. Good pedigree at this level, great experience. Again, this is what they're lacking at the moment is that. So again, he could be captain material if he keeps himself fit, potentially. And yeah, I think just getting some of these lads back and giving us a bit of stability in the team, knowing who our number one's going to be, and not worrying and relying on injured players, because of our squad depth at the minute is quite poor. So getting some back will help us massively. And I don't think he will go 2 weeks on Tuesday, because I think he'd probably want to do like I said earlier about the whole Cheltenham game, about getting confidence into the boys, and the winning mentality at any level is decent. So
yeah.
If we can pick up a win on Tuesday, go into Burton, who are now bottom of the table, with confidence of our first away win at Luton. If we can perform like we did at Luton at Burton, then we should be okay. And then coming into the Wigan game following Saturday at home, another tough one against Ryan Lowe's team, who lost 4-1 at Shuey today?
to Shuey's side,
Yeah. So we got the upper hand on him today, and that's not going to be an easy game. Wigan will be strong. Luckily, Callum Wright won't be playing in that one, will he? So he won't score against us. But yeah, some easier games on paper coming up, but today was meant to be easier, and we didn't do the job today either, did we? So I'm sure there's going to be plenty more ups and downs in the few coming weeks ahead. But yeah, we need to start seeing a bit of stability and a bit of a bit more impetus on the pitch.
Yeah,
in the coming weeks.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I mean, hopefully that's all cheered you up, folks. I mean,
bouncing now, Mike.
I'm sat there going, Carl, can you carry on saying any more negatives? I mean, yeah, I'm even getting fed up now.
I did like the stadium announcer. Please enjoy the rest of your weekend. It's like you're not having any luck with that, mate.
Well, Carl, there is some F1 tomorrow. I haven't caught the qualifying yet.
Yeah.
Although I managed to catch the fact that Albon, as I'm a Williams F1 fan, managed to hit the bloody corner and write himself off in Q1, which really, really did my head in because we're doing so well. But yeah, I shall pick up on that in a second and look forward to that tomorrow. Stephen's saying, can we pay cash on Tuesday? At the gate, laughing out loud.
It's like a broken record, Steve.
No, exactly.
Cash,
yeah.
mate.
That was discussed on Thursday, Carl. You weren't obviously on the show about taking cash payments and stuff. But yeah, look, folks, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Sorry, it's not another positive one, but like we've said, it's going to be a bit up and down this season, but it's going to click soon enough. So, look, enjoy the rest of your evening. I will get this merch sorted out so that you can then cheer yourself up by getting yourself one of these fantastic Block 9 mugs and a hoodie as well, which I've got to work out colour availability, but I'll put something on the site for that. But yeah, other than that, it's been great having you on. Been great seeing all the comments as well tonight, folks. As always, please, like I'm always saying, share the live. Tell everybody about the Block 9. Please like, subscribe, and follow, and all the stuff on the relevant platforms that you're watching on tonight. And other than that, we'll catch you on Thursday for the live lounge next week. See you.